Okay, so Endfield has some problems. Let's talk about them. One of Enfield's biggest criticisms is it doesn't have a real endgame. The closest thing we currently have to an endgame mode is Umbral Monument. And while you can get a decent amount of enjoyment from the mode when you interact with its systems properly,
this has to be the most unfun endgame I might have ever seen. Like, auto combust, bro? Why are you making him combust people like that?
I said when you interact with them properly, dipshit. At the end of the day, there just isn't enough of it. So what ends up happening? Well, people end up making their own content by doing stuff like this. And this is a good thing. Having an active speedrun and theory crafting subculture in your community interacting with your systems is great for the game. But instead of validating these people by giving them a way to track their personal best time, or any kind of leaderboard to support this group of people, we're doing this. We're leaning into more of the pointless busy work with competitive Power Wash Simulator. We're doing this at a time when people are already quitting and they're having takes like this.
I have been doing my Endfield dailies, but there's not been much to do, I will be honest. Yeah, I mean, I think my biggest thing about Endfield is that the dailies, and the reason I'm probably going to stop doing my dailies, is that they take so fucking long, man. They take so long. The thing that takes the most time that is kind of becoming a chore is the depot quest every day. Because my optimization brain is like, yes, I need every single possible stock I can, but goddamn, doing 4 daily depot quests a day is just like that. This is just taking too long, man.
Because they feel like your gameplay loop is LARPing a UPS delivery guy or cosplaying Farmer Joe. Are we tone deaf? What are we doing?
You're a fucking idiot. This needs to stop. Now!
Look, I understand that endgame is a complicated subject. Games that actually do have a proper endgame mode, like OG Arknights, typically take 6 to 12 months post-release to introduce it. It's never a part of the release package because it doesn't make sense for the game to have something that your average investment player can't even beat. But if we can't release an endgame at this point in time, the least we can do is offer proper support for the people making the best of what we currently have. And to not lean more into the stuff that's making people quit. Give us more combat and fewer chores. And streamline that combat experience for the people avidly interacting with it. Give them an in-game personal best tracker. Or, since you're already implementing localized leaderboards for game modes like Power Wash Simulator, you may as well give them localized leaderboards for game modes that actually matter. Despite all of this though, I'm going to be cautiously optimistic and hope that you can deliver us a better experience than the same bi-weekly Genshin slop that we've gotten used to from so many other games. You've already done better with OG Arknights, so show us you can innovate with this game too.
But I'm not done yet!
Okay, so Hypergryph has sponsored a total of 4 Creator Speedrun events. And they've all been a disorganized shit show. But hey, maybe we can cut them some slack, right? I mean, it's a small indie company. Oh wait. The publicity for these events has been practically non-existent outside of individual creator communities. We're on tournament number 4, and some people don't even know that these exist. I mean, if the goal of these events is to create publicity for the game, isn't a lack of proper advertising counterproductive? Now let's go into how much of a mess these events are themselves. Every single one of these events has had stuff like this going on.
Yeah, and someone on Discord was saying that apparently you can use buffs. You need to go to your factory to make some ginseng meat stew. Are we allowed to do that? It feels like one of those situations where it's people seeing that there isn't anything in the rules outlawing it, and taking that as a fact that they can then do it, right? I don't know. So she has maxed essences. No one else has maxed essences. No one else has essences. Presumably I'm allowed to give them essences, but they don't say anything about it.
I started preparations the second it went to 4 p.m. on Monday. I stopped my stream as I was doing it. I kept going, like, I kept streaming, of course, but like I opened the account. I immediately redid the factory to get like batteries so I could get more artifice and catalysts.
Can I thank you for doing that?
Essences. What, sorry?
I need to verbally thank you for doing that. Because
Why?
For one, you did it without. Well, you should. If you want to, you can rewatch the part when I was watching you yesterday. Because I was just there. And for one, I was confused as to why you were farming. Because in the rulebook, it doesn't say if you can or can't eat food. So I genuinely didn't know if you could. Whatever happened to farming ginseng? Was it only that girl doing that? It was her and another person. Her and Melly one that did it. That just makes me feel that only half the people try it. Wait, they didn't give the
It
Americans
was
a lot of
definitely
time.
confusing. What, sorry?
They didn't give the Americans a lot of time.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Is that like in my time zone, 4 p.m. is a very awkward time to start. And normally I started my stream earlier today, so I'd have more time to do it. Because otherwise, he's right, we actually really just.
I think I have more availability to stream because you know how we were saying Kyostin didn't stream? My chat just told me Kyostin just started.
Ah, okay.
So I genuinely do not know how much time you still have at this. So
I mean, it was 7 minutes over.
was the timestamp
the
just sent
end
to
time-
you, or was it sent to everyone? Like everyone saw the same thing. That timestamp that you had, was it just DM to you?
I had the timestamp. Everybody,
Right.
I believe everybody was given the exact timestamps.
Well, if it Kill say he just saw the timing. Oh, so Kill might be DQ'd.
I set this up and I just started spectating because I figured out that nobody is gonna start doing this until this hour. Because the Europeans kind of come online at around this hour, and the NA players are also probably gonna start trickling in like an hour. Because
Yeah,
this is
they
the
will.
prime time, right? Yeah. So yeah,
Wait, but-
I just waited until now, and I just did my dailies and all this stuff, like
Wouldn't
just played
just
Endfield
mean- I'm just washed at this. I'm just Asian. I'm literally debuffed.
For what?
It's
why-
11:30 p.m. right now. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah, yeah, I
I'm
know,
not
but-
putting myself to watch the Americans. I'm watching their VODs in order to get to know what they did.
To set the stage, in this challenge, we were all given uniform accounts with all characters and talents at max level, along with all weapons and gear at their baselines. However, every character, even 4 stars, were set to P0. This should be illegal, guys. P0 Ake Curry. Yeah, good luck with that. Additionally, outside of Rosie and Tantan, who were provided with max essence, there was only a small handful of random set essence available for other operators, meaning any other character likely had a couple +1s, or maybe an odd +2 or +3 in a single stat available at best. Because of how powerful a maxed out essence is, this configuration heavily skewed team options towards an arts team. As such, I ended up running Rosie, Tantan, Perlica, and Gilberta.
Fatemi un kit gain. The rest I don't need. Maybe agility to get some more attack. Yeah. Alright. Uffy got... oh my god, Uffy without potential.
I could go on, but I think I've shown you guys enough to see my point. Look, all I'm saying is, if we're spending thousands of dollars on these events every time we do them, the least we could be doing is putting in the extra effort and money required to make sure they're better organized and actually run smoothly. Hypergryph, please, just clarify rules, standardize schedules for proper coverage, and maybe give these events proper publicity? Now, Hypergryph, this is a very particular bone to pick, but I feel like it's important to point out. During the last Creator Speedrun event, why did we arbitrarily just decide to give Tong Tong a maxed out essence? Because you know what ended up happening, right? Everybody just decided to run Rossi with Tong Tong. Rossi, the character with compatibility with most of the roster, ends up being run in teams with Tong Tong in all of them. My first question is, why even do this when Tong Tong already had an event to showcase her? And second, how are we misunderstanding our character's kit so much that we're neutering the best part of her kit? What are we doing?
But I'm not done yet!
Okay, so I actually took the time and effort to calculate as accurately as I could the amount of currency we're getting in 1.1. Now, while some of the information in that video is outdated, we can say with certainty that the ballpark number of pulls we're getting for the entirety of the patch is around 60 to 65, with 10 non-expiring tickets and 10 expiring tickets each for Tong Tong and Rossi. So let's assume the highest possible for either banner is 85. That doesn't sound too bad, right? Except your guarantee is at 120. And you have 2 banners per patch. Now, I know somebody in the comments is probably going to try to argue with me and tell me that Endfield system is still mathematically better, but fuck you, I'm bad at math.
I'm stupid, you're smart.
And second, I know enough simple math to know that 85 is not 120, and it sure as fuck isn't anywhere close to 240. So basically, with this current model, you're telling me that players should be expecting to guarantee 1 banner every 2 patches?
What?
Now, let's look at a recent interview Hypergryph did with Gamesradar and analyze how tone-deaf some of these responses are. Okay, so it says, Arknightsendfield lead says good gacha systems don't impact the player's ability to enjoy the gameplay, and Endfield is trying to fix its confusing gacha. We are also calculating how many pulls players can get every version. Don't worry, bro, I did this for you. It's 85. Okay, so most of this bit is fine, except for this part over here. People can be critical about the gacha part of the game because they're not used to this monetization method. But in East Asia, players are more used to the gacha system. Okay, so my question is basically, what are we saying here? Are we saying that people have gotten so used to getting butt-fucked by systems like FGO and Uma Musume that they're meant to be acceptable? Because if we're using the same kind of logic that you're using in this argument, it could be argued that you're saying it's okay to drop another nuke on Japan, they're used to it by now. What are we saying? Okay, so maybe I'm misconstruing this, and I hope I am. But it sounds like he's directly referencing the monetization method with regards to the gacha system, because why else would you word it like that, right? And while you might argue 1 guarantee every 2 patches is pretty standard for high-budget gacha games, defending an anti-consumer practice by stating that there's a precedent for it sounds like sanctifying and perpetuating inherently unethical gacha systems rather than fostering better consumer-friendly systems. I don't think having more consumer-friendly systems in your game is a detriment. Why are we falling back on antiquated systems that people are tired of? Gacha fatigue is a real thing, and people are tired of slop systems. So falling back on a statement that's basically you just saying, well, it's always been done this way, sounds pretty flimsy. Okay, but let's move on. Okay, so here he's referencing that they're giving out more in-game currency, and I'm hoping this is referencing a future patch, because if he means 1.1, it hasn't been especially generous. And he's mentioning that we use the questionnaire in our in-game data to see if players are feeling paywalled by our gacha system. Yeah, I mean, if you're using your systems, then you should know that the pull amount for the patch isn't really that generous. It hasn't been especially high. Okay, so here he's talking about the non-expiring 10 pull issued as part of the recent support event they had, and that's a good change. Okay, so this is just UI streamlining and merging currencies. But this statement is a little bit problematic, because he spent several previous statements citing improvements, then states everything is at a discussion level to give himself plausible deniability in case none of these things materialize. Okay, so I understand the point he's trying to get across with this statement. All of the content in the game is accessible to all players regardless of money spent. And yes, it's easy enough that you can clear it, even with suboptimal units. But the statement also feels a little bit disingenuous, because a very large part of the development and content for every update are the various banner release characters, and having those characters directly impacts your ability to interact with the game. Credit where credit is due, though, they did say they're looking into the amount of pulls, so whether or not that results in anything actionable on their part remains to be seen for 1.2. So let's end this by having a bit of a more nuanced discussion about the gacha system. Objectively, AKE does have some merits to its gacha system. So pulls converting to weapon pulls is pretty good. And you can kind of just ignore the weapon banners until you really want to pull something, since every patch gives you a battle pass weapon that's usable on the banner characters. Also, having a dynamic loss pool is extremely good. Letting you retroactively obtain limited characters past their banners is amazing. But obviously, there are still problems which make the system feel bad. You have the early win-loss system where you get punished for pulling a character early, which is incredibly counterintuitive. The arsenal ticket acquisition amounts could use some adjustments. And you have abysmally low standard headhunting ticket acquisition. Personally, I don't mind the gacha system, even if I concede that some adjustments would be appreciated, since I understand that there's going to be too many legal complications involved in a complete overhaul. What I am primarily concerned about, however, is the current state of the pull economy. So even if we change the paradigm and assume you're a low spender buying both the monthly card and the protocol pass, you're still only getting 105 pulls for the entirety of patch 1.1. If Hypergryph tweaks currency acquisition to a slightly more generous amount, the game would be in a much healthier spot. Look, I know it might not seem like it, based on how critical I've been in this video, but I like Endfield. I was in content creation hibernation for 3 years because I moved out, got married, and had a baby. And I migrated to a different country. And nothing released in that time frame that made me want to make content again until... Woo! Yeah, baby! So I genuinely want to see this game do well. I'm hoping with the 1.2 livestream on the horizon that some of these concerns might be addressed, and I'm looking forward to giving myself shit if I'm wrong based on how things progress. And lastly, I might seem a little unhinged, but I'm not sponsored. And shit, I'm not even monetized. So I can say exactly what I think, completely unfiltered. And let's be real, even if I was, I'd probably talk the same amount of shit anyway. But all of this is coming from a place where I want to see all of these things get better, because I intend to keep playing and enjoying the game. If you guys agree with anything I said or you disagree, let me know in the comments. And if you learned anything or had fun watching this, consider subscribing so I can make more dumb shit. Cheers.